Simply staggering news today that Nigel Farage has decided he's going to stand for election, I think for the 7th time or the 8th time. He stood many times for the Westminster Parliament and failed and failed and failed and failed and failed. So now he's taking on the Clacton seat where Douglas Carswell stood. He was one of the Conservatives who defected to UKIP and successfully campaigned for his seat once he defected. He stood down. He wasn't obliged to do so. He stood down for a by-election. He triggered his own by-election and won as a UKIP candidate, but of course failed in the general election that followed. And so Nigel Farage thinks that the system is there is there set up to support him. He steps down. Richard Tice, the Uppingham boy, becomes the party chairman, and Tice apparently has kept this going at great personal cost. Well, his pockets are deep, and I'm sure his grandfather would be pleased. And the candidates so far for Clacton are Nigel Farage for Reform, Michael Bensilem for Liberal Democrats, Jovan Owusu Nepal for the Labour Party, and Giles Watling for the Conservative Party. So there's no names for Farage to go up against. It may well be a done deal that Farage gets elected there, and I think it would be good to see him in Parliament. I think he's been all but a leader since Brexit, and indeed before Brexit he is one of the people who has defined politics in the last 10 years, and it is right that he should be in the House of Parliament, whether in the House of Commons or in the House of Lords. But I think his dalliance with GB News was a mistake, not only for him but for Britain. He should have been taking responsibility for what he started, and he should have been there as a sort of elder statesman to guide the project that he initiated. This isn't to say I'm endorsing Brexit. It's to say that Farage, more than anybody else, should know what to do about it. And I think even at the time when he was running UKIP, in the run-up to the Brexit vote, he and his fellow UKIPers did not know what a post-UKIP Britain would look like. I asked many, many, many times, and I never got a satisfactory answer. So I think it's a fantasy that he really knows, but he should really take responsibility. So I'm pleased that he's doing this. It's a positive. From my point of view, it's a positive. Whether you like Mr. Farage or not, it's right that he is there. He is the person. He is the missing person from British politics in the last few years, in the last decade. He's the person who should have been in the system and wasn't.